I noticed that when I shot 1,000 doubles a year, and then I went to 3,000 doubles a year, my average went up, and then I went to 10,000 doubles a year, and it really went up, and so I figured the more doubles I shot, the better I got. You got to say the Grand American, both Vandalia and now Sparta's getting some history and stuff like that. And after that, the Golden West Grand would be the second place.
Mainly because you won all those gold coin buckles, right?
Well, yeah, that and there's a lot of activity in town after you get done shooting.
Welcome to another episode of Trap Talk. I'm your host, Zach Nannini. I'm here with my co-host, Richard Marshall Jr.
What's up?
We are in Tucson, Arizona at the Autumn Grand. We just got done finishing the doubles championship. Ricky broke 100. Good job, Ricky.
Thank you.
And we are here with the legend, Charlie Long. Charlie holds more ATA registered targets than any man alive. We've been really looking forward to doing this episode for a long time. And welcome to the show, Charlie.
Well, thank you very much.
Rick, would you mind introducing Mr. Long for us?
Yeah, so I shortened up the accolades a little bit, but Charlie started shooting in 1973. Now, he is registered so far, just registered targets, folks, 1,265,200 registered targets. And 458,000 of those are doubles alone. Now, you have the high-end handicap with which was 459,000 or
No,
A lot more. 7-something, right?
Yeah, no. 370.
379. That's what it was. Yeah. So, but Charlie's also a 15-time All-American, been on 15-plus Texas state teams, a 1993 Texas Hall of Fame inductee, and a 2019 Trapshooting Hall of Fame inductee. He used to hold the doubles long-run record with 857, but Sean Hawley beat him, which, I guess they're still friends, but... So
yeah, we're still friends.
You are.
We're still friends.
So, but Charlie's got over 250 hundreds and doubles. So we're pretty close in that because I think I've got over 250 hundreds and doubles. I don't have as many registered doubles targets yet, but one of the things too, he's not only the Mr. Doubles. Sorry, Sean. He's broke 21 100s in handicap from the 27-yard line.
Correct.
That's huge.
And multiple 200s. He's won multiple Texas state championships, I think around 8 or so. And he's won multiple satellite grand championships. So I've known Charlie since I was a little kid. I met him the first time at Spanish Fork, Utah with Stump. I think he was taller than me, John Hoffman, or I was taller than him, but with Frank Hoppy.
Oh, yeah.
That was back in like 1989 or something like that. So we really appreciate you coming on the show.
All right, no problem.
The biggest problem with Charlie is we could spend the whole show just going over all his accolades.
Exactly.
He shot so long and he shot so well at so many different gun clubs and won so much stuff. I mean, you're definitely one of the guys looking up to. I remember when I started, I think probably one of the first place I seen you was either in San Antonio or Tucson, and it was just like, oh, that's Charlie Long. Everybody's like, that's the guy that shoots the heck out of doubles. And you shot everything well. But that being said, you obviously love the game of trap shooting. What brought you to it? How'd you get started, and what started this long road that you're on?
Oh, shoot. I was working for Brown Root Construction Company in the Marine Yard in Houston. And some of the old foremen, took me out West Texas dove hunting, the engineer.
Yeah.
And, after the shoot was over, I got a good laugh because the engineer couldn't kill many doves and stuff like that. Well, right across the ship channel, Olean had a plant, and they had a white wing trap and skeet range over there as part of on their grounds. And every day at lunch, I'd drive down through the channel and go over to there and shoot a little trap, shoot a little skeet, and I liked trap better.
Yep.
And one of the old time welders in there shot trap and kind of put me under his wing, and I just fell in love with it and went out to Greater Houston and started shooting. Met some fine people, and they all had the same political inclinations I had and everything. And We all thought the same.
Who could wonder what that is?
Yeah. And it just mushroomed from that.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, what got you into the registered shooting? Shooting at Greater Houston? Or?
Yeah, when I started shooting at Greater Houston and stuff. Well, and there was another place, Charlie Jones that was there. He's not there anymore.
Yeah.
The town has swallowed him up. But it was, got started there. And John Hall told me, for the price of a plane ticket, you could be in the big pond, so, and he said that the best shoot to go to is the Golden West Grand. Back then it was at Harold's Club.
Yep.
So we started going to Harold's Club every year.
Yeah, I never did get a shoot out there. Like I said, it was always during the time where I could.
Yeah, they had the totem pole and all that kind of stuff.
So I think I heard stories about the totem pole with the late Gerald Chrisman.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of. We won't talk about that.
Yeah. But go ahead.
So, at the beginning, were you a hot shot right off the bat, or did you really have to work at it for a while?
Well, I had to work at it for a while, and John R. Hall was kind of the guy that helped me along and everything and stuff like that, and I noticed that when I shot 1,000 doubles a year, and then I went to 3,000 doubles a year, my average went up, and then I went to 10,000 doubles a year, and it really went up, and so I figured the more doubles I shot, the better I got. So that's what I kept doing.
What was the most amount of doubles you've shot in 1 year?
Oh, shoot, I was somewhere up close to 30,000.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's a lot of doubles, Charlie.
I love doubles. And I remember you've shot in a lot of the. Yeah. Did you shoot in any of the big 25,000?
No. I love doubles. Yeah. I don't love punishing myself, but I love doubles.
Well, you remember like Billy Rink shot at Zerny and all them, and Billy quit after that.
Yeah.
And Bill, I shot the Ohio State shoot 1 year with Billy, and shortly after that's when they did all that, and his hands got killed.
Yeah, everybody's hands swole up, except Scriptures.
How many doubles did they shoot in a day?
25,000 in 24 hours.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, 5,000 apiece. Zerny did it twice.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like much fun.
Well,
So imagine your hands getting all hot and melted from.
Well, actually, remember Mike Busser?
Yeah.
Remember he did it, and he loaded up because he owned Duster Wad Company, and he loaded all these like 1 ounce shell Zach for everybody, and they shot him, but he still had to wear gloves if I remember right, and it still tore his hands up through the gloves.
I would imagine.
And I love doubles too, and I know you love them.
Oh yeah.
And have shot multiple marathons. You used to shoot a lot in El Paso.
Yeah.
Magic Mountain, Spanish Fork. Yeah. Like I said, that's where I met you at. Years, decades ago. With Stump.
Yep.
Now you and Stump have shot a lot together.
Stump. Yeah, we've been friends forever, ever since he moved down from Wisconsin.
Yep.
Shot together.
So for that being said, it sounds like doubles was your favorite out of the games. Is that correct?
Yeah. What you do the best, what's your favorite?
Yeah.
So let's get into the time when you were shooting doubles at your best. What were you doing? What philosophies and what styles were you using? Were you like me and Ricky, where you're down on the house and you're driving through, where you're holding up higher? What were the things that you were doing in your doubles game that made you great?
I shot what you'd call a moving gun. I'm down on the house. As I call for the bird, the gun cart's coming up, and as soon as that bead hits that target, the gun goes off, and we go chase the second one down.
You're anticipating the target a little bit.
Yeah.
So you actually are calling pull, and you're rolling that gun off the line purposefully. So you're not still. You're rolling in, and then that target comes out. You're snapping it.
You've got to be flexible enough to maybe move a little right or left, especially back when they had the handsets. But the pet traps make it a whole lot easier.
So were you in the house rolling up, or were you above the house rolling out?
Just right at the lip.
Right at the lip.
Yeah,
so you're calling pull, you're rolling out with it, you're snapping that bird in, and I mean, you shot that first bird pretty quickly, did you not?
Tried to.
He does, but you watch him and it's the same.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
How about chokes and shells and point of impacts and things like that? Were you shooting 1 ounce, ounce and eighth, light, or?
I shoot 1 ounce eighths, and when I can get them, 1 ounce 8 1/2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both shots?
No, the second shot I chase it with a 3 gram 7 1/2.
Okay, so you're like Ricky. You give it the gas on that second shot.
Yeah,
I shoot the 1250s.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Well, you're super
He's
gas.
a 12. I super gas it.
He's super gas.
I want to see boom boom.
I'm not mad at the target as he is.
Not that mad
But,
at him.
hey, but today I did shoot around a doubles practice this morning with Justin.
I haven't seen that
because he
in
was
years.
struggling a little bit. So everybody's like, "What are you doing down here?" And I said, "Can a guy bring a gun to a practice trap?" You know. But in the last pair, I was like, "Oh, I got 5 handicaps and I got 7 lights. I'll just even it out." So I put 2 lights in, boom, boom, and the guy standing there goes, "Did you just shoot a light shot this action?" I'm like, "Yeah, they break them." And he goes, "Then why don't you do it?" I said, "Because I like speed." Shoot the first one and then loop to the second one and drive through it. Oh, just like that.
Great shot. Shot 2. Great shot.
We're just trying to help every shooter out there, no matter if you're an expert or a beginner, and this product will take your game to the next level.
Works for any of the disciplines. As long as it can find a clay in the image, it will figure out how it's moving and how that shot pattern is going.
Yeah. Now in that shot, I intentionally shot high, which is most people do.
That's what you did.
Yep. So outside the pattern. Now what's it say for the correction of that?
1 foot.
Yep, that'd be correct. Now in this one, I will smoke the target.
If people want to purchase this unit, what's the best way to do it? I mean, is it through your guys' website? Is there a phone number to call, or what's that situation?
Yeah, go to our website, takeintech.com, and an online store. We have inventory. We'll ship usually within 24 hours.
Huge thank you to Jim and Bob at Take Aim Tech for supporting Trap Talk. How about chokes? Are you shooting, light chokes on the first shot, tight chokes? What do you do there? Or what were you doing?
20,000s and 25,000s.
So you're shooting basically a mod and a light improved mod.
Yeah,
Right?
light mod, yeah.
And equipment-wise, were you shooting the same gun you're shooting now, or what were you shooting back then?
Oh, back then I shot a Prosy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and then bing, 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 and then, after I wore out a couple of Prosys, I started on Kohlers.
Okay. So
shot a
you're a
Kohler
Kohler
for-
guy now?
Yeah, shoot
For
Kohlers.
what, 30 years now?
Yeah.
Right at
Still
30.
got the first one. That's
Yeah.
So Perazzi shot those for a while, wore them out because of the amount that you shot, and then into the Kohlers. And as far as point of impact and setup, has everything been pretty consistent, or are you higher now, higher then?
Well, with the Kohlers, you can bend the barrel up, so I shoot a little higher first shot because I bend the barrel up, so I can shoot it a little quicker. The house, and then the second one's flat.
So you're just having the barrel bent.
Well,
Are you putting
I put a tighter, a number one thing to bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really played with hangers much, but I mean, you would know more about all that stuff.
Yeah, in the Krieghoff Kohler, they're pretty.
Yeah,
I mean,
same
you got
like a
same
hangers.
hanger system
Yeah,
design. I mean, I shoot a pretty much 75 to 80% both barrels.
Yeah,
I
both
like to
barrels
keep
are
mine
the same for you. Mine are both the same, but you said you shot a little bit of a higher on your first shot,
higher on the
and
first
then a
shot.
little bit flatter on the second shot, just so you could let it rip.
Well, and he chases the target just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a little
He's
slower.
a little slower. See, I mean, he's been shooting so much he wore a hip out.
Well,
That's why he's got to get a hip replacement.
but I mean, you might be a little slower now today, but I remember when I started watching you at the beginning, you were pretty damn fast.
Yeah, that's pretty. I was,
He can shoot. I remember sitting there watching him at the Western Grand when it was at Mitchell's old club in Salt Lake one year.
yeah.
I was a kid, but I did something, threw my back out, and I was supposed to shoot a bunch of marathon with Frank. And then Frank was teaching.
Yeah.
And I was going to shoot with Scripture, and I think I think Stump was there, and I know Dean DeBow was there
Dean DeBow was
back in them days.
Yeah.
And I literally sat in a chair outside and watched them guys shoot. Handicap, double, and I just sat there. People are like,
banging
"What are you doing?" I was like, "I can't get up." I mean, at least I can watch what I love to do. So,
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're having fun.
But yeah, and you've shot so long now. You grew up in Houston or in Illinois?
Yeah, I was originally, yeah.
Because your dad's originally from North Platte, Nebraska.
Yeah, originally from North Platte, and I stayed in Illinois until I was in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, and a local guy there said, if the sun sets on your 18th birthday in Homewood, Illinois, you're a lifer. I ran like crazy.
So get that, you gotta go.
Bing!
Right
Gotta
to
go.
Texas.
Yeah.
Right to South Texas.
South
It's
Texas.
not Houston, Zach. It's Houston.
Houston.
Down
Houston.
the Gulf Coast.
That's right. Now, so your son shoots.
Yeah.
Little Charlie.
Yeah.
LT.
Yeah.
So, is he gonna? He's not here this
He's
week.
not here this week.
Someone got to run the company.
Yeah, somebody's got to run the company.
You know. Now he told me a story real quick that you of course you've been with Remington for a long time.
Yeah.
Shot Remington products.
Yep.
That your living room, the couch was a Remington Flats.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that true?
Oh yeah, the front. Yeah. Back when we were shooting a bunch and you could get shells.
Yeah.
When I got under 200 flats, I got nervous and got on the phone and ordered some more.
Under 200, that's when you get nervous. It's just different world problems everyone has. You know, we get a little light when we're under like 20, and Charlie's under 200. It's,
Under 200, I'm on the phone ordering more.
But LC told me that little Charlie said, "Yeah, we had a Remington Flats as our couch in the living room one time." And I said, "Well, at least you had a nice place to sit.
Yeah.
A little hard."
yeah, a little hard, but so's the shot, baby. Nice and hard. That's what you want.
Hello, Trap Talk listeners. Zach Nannini here, and I'd like to thank our show sponsor, Remington. And today, I would like to go into what shells I use when I'm training and when I'm shooting tournaments. First of all, we start with the Gun Club. This is a great shell. I shoot an 1145 ounce and 1/8, and this is what I shoot for singles and both shots of doubles. The only reason I don't shoot this in tournaments is because I like a little bit of a harder shot, a little bit of a harder break, but it works great, and it's the same speed as this STS shell. So this STS shell, a little bit harder shot, figure 8 wad column, smokes the targets a little bit harder. Also, I shoot for singles and doubles, both shots. And then when I go to the back fence and I want to put the smoke on them, I bring out the Nitro 27 ounce and 8, 7.5. It's a 1235 shell, blast the targets, works really well. I hope these shells work for you, and I want to thank Remington for supporting Trap Talk.
So you said not as much practice because you were shooting a ton of targets, obviously.
Yeah.
When you were practicing, or when you were shooting those events that you would call practice, because there was thousands of double shot, what were you trying to work on to get better? What were the things that you were doing either mentally or physically that was bringing your game to the next level?
Well, you gotta mount the gun the same way every time. You know, you gotta work on that discipline to, if it doesn't feel right, take it down and put it back up again.
Did
takes
you
discipline.
do a lot of gun mounts prior to the events, or was it just at the events?
Usually out there, right, waiting the squad before I go off by saying I mount the gun about 15 times.
Okay.
Make sure that it's going in the right spot.
Now, did you ever have any coaching by anybody? Or were you just
John
kinda-
Hall.
Just John Hall?
Yeah,
Because
John
now you were fortunate that the great state of Texas, I mean, you had John Hall, Britt Robinson,
Well, Larry Gravestock.
Larry Gravestock. And I never met Larry. I think he had
Crosby.
passed.
No.
Neil, well, of course, I shot with Neil, Mr. Handicap.
And then there was a guy, another guy, Jim, Spurlock, James
Yeah,
Spurlock.
James Spurlock.
We had 5 perennial All-Americans every year. I thought you had to be an All-American to get on the Texas State team when I first started.
That's true. I mean, he was shooting when, especially Gravestock and Britt, were just hammering everywhere.
Yeah.
Like when we had, Jerry Williams on and even Jeff Wagner was talking about in North Platte, where they used to hold the blue-gray shoot.
Yeah.
All them guys come in Texas. They'd come up to shoot at Kinsley, Kansas. $1,000 bill shoot.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember them days.
Yeah.
You were too young.
I was too young. I missed it.
missed out.
I that's why I love doing the show, though, because I get to hear about all these stories that I never got to be a part of, and it's kind of cool.
But see, you're making new history now.
Well, yeah, we're trying.
That when you get gray beard down the road, you can you remember. So, I can remember.
So I remember when we had Charlie Long, he told us how many more doubles he shot than us. He's a stud.
Yeah.
But no, in Texas has produced a ton of great shooters.
Yeah, Rogers. Smith.
Yeah.
Andy Smith and
Andy Smith.
Shoot Fisher.
Yeah, Mike Fisher.
Mike Fisher.
Shot a lot at the Grand with Fish.
Yeah, I shot a
He
lot
just
with
passed
Fish.
away.
Yeah.
What? 2 years? Year ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember shooting with a lot of them guys.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate. I was young.
Yeah.
But shot with them and little Eric Ardeal,
Little Eric Ardeal.
which he's a doctor now.
Is a doctor, emergency room doctor up in Willis, Texas.
Yeah. It's the only 500 by 500 single squad I've ever been on. It was Steve Nyland, I think it was Eric, me, then Jason Booker, and Ken Evans.
Oh, well, Evans run 200. Just
Oh, he'd been on I think he's been on like 400 or 500.
Oh,
and it
yeah.
came down to his shot.
Yeah.
And he mounted the gun and put the gun down and turned over and looked at everybody and says, "What do y'all pay me to break this target?" That's a fact. And Booker said a few things, took a shell out.
Yeah, he said, if you miss, you're getting one to the chest.
But it was, and Eric, was a phenomenal junior shooter.
Oh, yeah.
Then he went off to school, and I don't, is he shooting at all anymore?
A little bit. But, that doctor stuff, married, a couple of kids.
Yeah. But he's doing well.
Oh, he's doing very well.
So it's cool, though. And that's the thing with meeting Charlie years ago, in Magic Mountain in Spanish Fork, Utah. And then meeting your son. Yeah. We've had a few fun times with little Charlie.
We always have
Especially
fun.
Texas State shoot one year when his eye got cut open
yeah.
by the fence post from Booker.
Yeah, Booker and then went to wrestling, and LC found out that Booker was a professional wrestler.
Jason kind of threw him, and LC hit a T-post, and we all freaked out. We seen blood, and he said, "Is it bad?" And I said, "Close your eye." And he said, "It is closed." We could see it. It cut him. Oh, it was bad. And so Ron Watson brought him back or whatever, and the next day he was out there shooting, and I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Dad said I had to shoot."
That's right.
You didn't cut him any slack, did you, Charlie?
No.
Oh, but little Charlie, that's why we used to have the John Hall tent at the Grand, and that was LC's little sleeping area.
Yeah.
Big C said, "We're leaving at 10 o'clock.
That's right.
10:01, LC'd come running. Dad's not here. I guess I'm sleeping under the tent again. He kept down John Hall's tent, though. So.
Don't miss your deadline.
Yeah.
Now, have you enjoyed that? Especially with little Charlie shooting?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of times we went back to the Grand, we weren't talking to each other, but yeah, I did enjoy it.
It happens. I know I was out with my father too a few times, and it's like, what do I do?
Yeah, we're in a whole other direction other than trap talk. Now we're talking about after hours trap talk conversation.
Oh, no, this is good. This is all part of the history of Charlie. And
with your handicap, obviously 2100s from the back fence, you know what you're doing. Is it very similar to your doubles where you're doing a rolling start into the target, or what do you do differently in handicap versus doubles?
Well, try to keep the gun still until you see the target, and then go after it. Yeah, I hold a little higher gun at handicap, and a little wider.
Yeah. And he can get away with that.
So
just
up
so our
and out.
listeners understand is, I don't recommend doing it in doubles, but it is going the same place. So some people kind of start, but the problem is a lot of people, if they do that, they jump over. Yeah. So it's just a kind of a slow, but in handicap, you're still.
Yeah, gotta be still.
So when you set up, how many feet above the house are you in handicap generally?
Oh, just probably a little bit below horizontal.
Okay.
I'm not horizontal, I'm a little bit down lower. I just don't want the bird to go under my gun. I want it when it goes out, it goes over the
top.
So you're still waiting for it to break the plane of the gun. It's still getting up above the top of your gun, and then you're chasing it down. But you're getting it up off of that flash zone. You're getting it past that point.
Yeah, trying to,
and then just attacking it.
He's trying to keep the same whole point as some of his squad mates, because they were, a little on the vertically challenged, Ed Winking, John Hoffman.
Yeah.
Would you say there was a most important thing that you would tell the listeners in shooting handicap that's been helpful for you?
Just practice to shoot them. You got to have confidence. You got to know that you're going to break the next target.
Yeah.
Just practice. If you get scared of a target or scared of a post, you need to spend a lot of time on that post shooting until you get over it.
And that's a nice thing we've talked about multiple times about the pat traps now compared to,
you
knew
lock
the
it in.
handsets.
Yeah.
You had to go stand on post one with a flat of shells, hoping you get 20 left angles or something. Yeah. Where now, 5 shots, okay, you're good.
Yeah, I want to spend a second on that. It's the anticipation or the fear of a bird that causes a lot of people to miss. If you're walking over to one and you're missing on one all the time, and your head's there walking over there, it's not going to generally be good until you get that fixed at some point. And you'd go fix it.
You want to break that target so bad that you'll peek, and you don't have to lift your head. All you got to do is roll your eye up a little bit.
See, and that's what I was discussing with a student the other day here. I said, just because your head's still down, if you do this, it's still there, but it's left the pressure up.
Yeah.
So that anticipation, I think that's important. You said, let's just call it post one on the hard left.
Yeah.
It comes out, you're worried about it. You'll say that shooters have a tendency to peek a little bit.
Yeah, to see where they're shooting, stuff like that, But you got to know that you're going to break the target. You got to have the confidence you're going to go break the target, and then go break the target.
It's a good way of thinking about it.
Pretty salty.
He's a salty guy. He's got all kinds of.
Charlie.
Yeah.
I mean,
Go break the target.
Where was your favorite place to shoot in all the years and all the places that you've been to?
You got to say the Grand American.
Yeah.
Both Vandalia and now Sparta's getting some history and stuff like that. And after that, the Golden West Grand would be the second place.
Mainly because you won all those gold coin buckles, right?
Well, yeah, that and there's a lot of activity in town after you get done shooting.
Activities. I love activities.
Yeah, activities.
Zach is the professional at activities.
I'm a professional activity Joe.
Yeah, that's right. See, it's a fun town to go to shooting.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one thing I missed out on, and I wished I could have went now. Look, it's like, because the gold coins. I mean, I was fortunate to. I've been to California a few times on a few trips, and Atascadero.
Yep.
It was a mudslide 400. I won that one year.
Did you ever go to Santa Maria for the?
Never went to Santa Maria for the 400.
Yep.
But I went to Atascadero with Parr and Petey that time.
Yep.
And I shot with the Curtin. Don Jr.
Don and Don Jr. Curtin,
and they were like, "What post you want?" And I'm like, "Man, it's y'all squad. I'll shoot whatever." And I shot post 2. I break the first 25. I break the second 25, and they're looking at me like, and I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Nothing." Got over the third box, let one slide. I was like, and all I remember is Don Sr. coming over. He's like, "Hey, get this last trap," and I was like, "Yep." And I broke the last 25, and I was like, "Cool." And they're like, "You just hit the wraparound 50." And I go, "You said what?"
You said what?
Like,
you said cash?
First 50, second 50, third 50. I go, "What?"
The wraparound.
Oh, yeah, wraparound. 1 and 4. And I was like, "What?" "Oh, yeah, it's been broken a while." And that paid like $300 or $3,500. I was like, yeah.
Activity time.
But I won some gold coins there, and then in Carmichael's, in Vegas, I won several there, and so I was in part of a little of the history, but.
In 2023 here, we have done 37 state shoots, 7 of the 11 satellite grants.
We're almost there.
So most of them.
We now have, I think it's 241, 242 clubs across the country using our system.
If a club was wanting to use you, do you have like a base entry-level pricing or packages that you advertise, or is it based on the size of the shoots, Greg?
Our base level price is $0. Our complete package system, the whole enchilada, is $0.
$0 is a good price.
It's a good price.
The premium members do not pay a pre-squad fee, ever.
Yeah.
For all year.
All year.
Can I buy a lifetime membership?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Gotta be your first lifetime
is there a 5
I want
year?
to be number one. Zach,
We want lifetime memberships for me and Ricky.
I mean, when you were shooting in the 70s, I mean, what do you see different from shooting the 70s and 80s to shooting it now in 2023? I mean, I know the common answer is always shells are better and guns.
Well, the difference is that we shot over handset traps, and you had to be a little more patient and everything. But today, the thing of it is all these young kids are kicking our butts now. I mean, they weren't kicking our butts back in the 70s.
No.
But they are now.
Yeah.
And I do that, suppose that to the equipment and the shells and the availability of information that they can get classes and stuff. And
Yeah, because I know back in the day when I started shooting in '88, I took a lesson from Frank Hoppe.
Yeah, Frank.
And then I was fortunate to travel with him.
Yeah.
So that really expanded my game, and then also got to travel with Leo in there, which I do a lot of talking now, as everybody knows. But back then, I just sat in the back. I remember sitting in the back of Leo's van.
You were
Leo
shy.
would be driving. Yeah, I wasn't shy, but I was like smart. I'm like, I'm just gonna, and I would ask a few little. It wasn't a lot about shooting, but just stuff, and it was you just learned. And then we'd be shooting, and I'd do something, and Frank would say, "Hey," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay." Or I was shooting with Leo, and he's like, "Hey Rick." I remember at Southwest Grant. This is back 2005, 6, or whatever. Shooting the doubles, I moved, I missed one. Next one, I moved and I hit it, And Leo didn't even shoot. And I looked over. He said, "Quit moving your gun." And I was like, "Thanks, Big O." I run him out, broke 99, won the doubles. And I was like, "Why?" And he goes, "Well, that's what you're doing." I don't know. We were friends, squad mates. We want each other to win.
Yeah.
And it's like today, we're shooting in Justin. I don't know if you saw it, Zach.
Yeah.
Justin was stopping his gun on the first 50, so I turned over and I said, "Hey, move your gun." Then I broke my last pair for 50 on the first 50. Someone back there goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like,
Helping people out.
I mean, I could see it out of the corner of my eyes, so I'm like, well, I don't want to think about that. I'm just going to say, "Hey, dude," and move on.
We'll send him the bill in the mail.
Yeah, checks in the mail. That's Bullard's line.
Yeah.
But no, and that's the one thing is now the information is. I mean, we get it all the time.
We're trying to bring more information.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, you've got some people that are writing articles in Trap and Field. You've got some people that have done some YouTube stuff. Now, we've got these podcasts where we're interviewing and trying to compile information. But the thing that I'm concerned about is I don't want to lose the history of trap shooting. It's important to document the road of what people were doing then, what was going on, and there's obviously some big changes. But the one thing that I really loved about then, and I don't see a way of this getting back until there's just a lot more money, but a lot of the gold and the silver and the stuff that you guys shot for back then, but it was readily available. But I mean, when we did Jimmy Heller, he pulled out his book and was all these gold coins that he had won, and I'm sure you've got piles of it.
When was the last time you went to a car shoot?
Carmichael's.
Yeah,
and I won. Last one.
I mean, they used to be 3-4 a year.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s, stuff like that.
Yeah, the last one, Carmichael's car shoot,
Yep.
and I won. And I won the long yardage deal. And then we shot off to see who got first pick or whatever.
Yeah,
and I was second. A kid from California, and I can't remember his name. He won, and he chose the red one, and I got a white. And then the guy that was third took the blue. And I drove it right down to Henderson Chevrolet and sold it.
I figured you'd have drove it home, no?
It was a Geo Metro, Zach.
Those are nice.
It's the size that me and you put together right now.
So we were over on the weight load.
Yeah. I drive this thing. Tom Buxman was following me going. He called me, he goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "What?" He goes, "You're all over the road." I said, "Every time I take my one hand off to answer the phone, that thing."
It probably looked as bad as your golf cart going down to the range today.
About the same size.
Not the same size.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the information stuff and what we're doing, like Zach said and touched on with the history, trying to interview all the greats, the legends of shooting, and the up and coming shooters, people in the business, just to document. So there is more information out there.
Yeah.
That is a good, and it does help a lot of people because I teach classes, private groups, corporate stuff all over the country, and sometimes people just get they listen to some of this. Oh, they get a little tidbit here and there.
Tidbits are good. We love tidbits.
Absolutely.
That and free plugs.
Yeah.
But so Charlie, you've done it all. You've been around. You've got more targets than anybody else. What knowledge or information would you want to give to newer shooters or even shooters that have been around? I mean, what do you think's good advice that you would leave to other folks?
Well, you're a new shooter and you come into a gun club and everybody's an A and double A and up in there, you got to have a thick skin. I mean, you're out there shooting 18s and 19s and stuff, and you just got to understand it's going to take you a while. You're not going to be a double A shooter right away.
Yeah.
You got to be persistent.
Got to work at it.
Got to work at it. You got the more work you put in it, better results you get.
That's always been my line. What you put in is what you'll get out.
You were always the guy that believed in more, though. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, if you look at your stuff, I mean, you were the kind of the guy where if you had an issue, you just go and get a pallet of shells. I'm over there with a box of shells, and you got a pallet, and you just wham. But obviously you had success with that.
Well, yeah, say your shotgun, you shoot it up against the wall, you got all kinds of pellets there in that goddamn wall right there. The same thing is there, if you go to enough shoots, all the things, you're going to win something. The more opportunities you give yourself, the better chance you got to do it. So I do take the shotgun approach. So I go to all these shoots and shoot all
you go to a lot of places, give yourself a lot of opportunities.
I got a map on the wall behind my off thing, and I got a red pin everywhere where I've registered targets. And
really?
it looks like I've
So where haven't you shot?
Well, I haven't been up in the northwest or New England yet, but Haven't been to Nebraska. Haven't been back to Nebraska yet, but
Yeah. But I mean, looking at the map, it's probably just looks like all red dots all over.
yeah.
That's why.
Especially the
LC's
South.
got to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's okay though. You did your part now.
That's right.
It's his turn.
It's a handoff.
That's right.
It's a handoff.
Sorry, little Charlie.
Us
We love
Italians
you,
understand that. You gotta work.
Yeah.
No more Bud Lights for you.
Oh, sure.
Hello, Trap Talk listeners. Today's episode is brought to you by Wenig Custom Gun Stocks.
That being said, a custom gun stock is going to elevate your game to get the same fit every single time.
And I can attest to that. I broke hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hundreds with my Wenig Custom Gun Stock.
I even broke hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, Rick, but I did break 100 from the 27 within 7 days of getting my stock and broke 2 more that year and loved it.
Here, this is
Okay, you would take it or me?
We'd like to thank Wenig Custom Gun Stocks for supporting Trap Talk.
That being said, everyone knows.
Winners shoot Wenig.
Are we doing the end board?
At this stage in your game, what are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish now? I mean, is it just having fun and seeing
Well,
everybody, or
yeah,
what
having
do
fun.
you work on?
Well, try to get better, or try to stay as good, but it's not happening. But, it's still seeing all the people, and there's getting to be less and less of us every year,
That is true.
and like I told, said, when it's no longer fun, I'll quit.
It's still fun. I
It's
mean,
still
obviously,
fun.
1.2
It's still
million
fun.
targets later, he's still coming. I mean, he still
Yeah.
shoots more than anyone I know. I mean,
Yeah.
which is always good. I mean, it's fun when you love something and you're surrounded by good people,
Yeah.
and you get to do it, and
Right.
it's just it's a blessing.
Yeah, I'd love to do it.
Now, where are you gonna? When's gonna be your next shoot after this?
I'm probably back here at the Spring Grant.
At the spring game.
Yeah.
You'll be good and healed up.
Should be, better be.
Doesn't take. I mean, hip is all.
Yeah,
It's.
I mean,
my dad's had both done. And,
Mine too.
yeah.
And this is the best thing ever. This is your first time,
Yeah, hip, no.
so you'll be back leaning in doubles again once you get this thing right.
Banging away.
Yeah, well, like I say, come to a trap shoot, and the only thing I could shoot's the doubles because I don't have to walk as far, or don't have to mount the gun as many times. So I'm shooting. I shot all 3 doubles.
That's right. See?
Yeah.
Is there any other stories that you'd like to share with us from the past before we get out of here today?
I don't, shoot.
You got a lot of them. I know.
Yeah, there's most of them involve alcohol, so I can't really bring them up.
It's okay. You're an adult.
Yeah.
We know, but
Yeah.
Anything we're missing, Rick?
I don't think so. I mean, this has been a great episode. Since I've been shooting for 36 years now, I mean, I've always watched Charlie shoot, seen him shoot tons of marathon targets, and just how consistent he is with breaking doubles. And even, I remember the Heartland Grant here just a few years ago, you won the singles championship there.
Yeah.
And some guy said, Charlie won the singles? I said, well, he can shoot singles too. It's just one target at a time instead of 2. But
Not as much press.
yeah. But you've won so much.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the sport knows you.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who you are.
Well.
And it's just been a privilege to have you on the show.
Well, appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Is there anyone you'd like to thank, either sponsors or family members or anything, before we get out of here?
Well, like I say, John Hall was my mentor, and I had so much fun traveling with John, the Stump Hofflin,
Yeah.
over these years. He got me in more trouble than I can count. But it's all in good fun.
Well, that's good.
But,
We'd like to thank our show sponsors, Remington, Wenig Stockworks, Shot Tracker, RM Shooting Clinics. He's staying busy, guys. And if you need a financial guy, Zach Danini at your service. So we really appreciate you listening on this Friday, and we'll see you next week.
See you.
Thank you for coming, Charlie.
thank you.
That was awesome, buddy.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
You're good. Perfect.
And the Trap Talk podcast is brought to you in part by
RM Shooting Clinics. Have Ricky take your game to the next level. If you want to shoot hundreds, give Ricky a call today. Zach Danini Financial. We believe in putting people first.